So I remember the day that you guys walked in, and I don't know if you can go back to that day, but I know that it took you a bit to really trust the team, and in particular Stacy, because I know that you've been so used to doing things yourselves and had some bad experiences. Can you go back to that day and describe kind of the process that you went through? Because I think it's really important to us to build trust with clients, and it takes time. But I remember that day when you guys walked in.
Well, I remember before we walked in, I said to Rick, if anybody asks if they want to help us, the answer is no, I don't want any help. I just didn't want, I had felt like I had made some mistakes, and I don't know, I don't know if I want to say I didn't want the pressure.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if I wanted any help at that point.
Yeah.
So I said, if anybody approaches us, just say we're looking. And really what we came in for that day was bedding for our master bedroom. And so when we walked in, we went right for a couple of the bedding options that you had laid out. And Stacy walked up to us. And we talked to her briefly about why we were there, and what I just said, bedding. I didn't mention that we had just built a house and that I had no other furniture in it. And then she started showing us, I said, we talked about the colors that I was looking for, and that happened to be one of the beds you had made up. And I said, well, these are actually my colors right here, and I loved how it was layered.
Yep.
And then Stacy said, why don't I bring this out tomorrow and put it on your bed so you can see what it looks like? And I can remember feeling a little apprehensive about that.
Yeah.
But in the end, we decided we would do that.
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience. I know it's like, oh my God, someone's coming over with bedding. But tell me about that day when she came over and worked with your bed.
Okay, so when she came in and she had me leave the bedroom. And that is what I love about K. Renee. It's like every room is, once you deliver it, you set everything up. It's amazing. Most of the time when you have things delivered, they'll put it in the room you want it in, and then you're trying to position the right angles and stuff like that. But so Stacy came in and I left, and I can remember walking in my bedroom because I am very visual. I knew what I wanted the bed to look like, but I had probably brought home 5 different, I buy a comfort from here, pillows from here, and then I would try to piece it together myself. I made tons of returns with bedding. And then Stacy came in, I went into the other room, and she was in there maybe a half hour or so, and they had me come in. I was so excited. It was like, that is exactly what I had been visualizing in my head that I couldn't put together.
Awesome.
And Rick said this one day, and I think this is like a really interesting comment. He said, with every room that we ended up letting Stacy and Kelly and the team put together for us, it's almost like they could read our mind. They got to know us so well that they just knew what I was going to love, and it made the process so easy and so much fun.
That's awesome. So I wanted to hear a little bit from the client's perspective about the process of picking furniture out. You've talked about that a little bit already, naturally, but share with us from your perspective how that experience feels, being able to come in and pick out your furnishing for an entire space all at once, and then be able to have it put together in your home so you can react to it.
Oh, to me, it's just the stress goes away. I mean, if you walk in different furniture stores, you feel like you're wandering around and I kind of like that, but you can't, put it together. And that's what we were doing before. We would literally go walk into a store, walk around, meander around for an hour, and walk out frustrated and more anxious than when you walked in, because you just didn't, it probably made it worse because you just felt lost, like how are we ever going to figure this out? And what I've appreciated is whenever Stacy has been putting a room together for us, she gets it ready and says, okay, come in and I'm ready for you. And she usually has a couple options for us to look at. But the room's sitting there. It's there. You're looking at everything you're going to put in that space, or predominantly everything you're going to put in that space. That makes it so much easier to see it and say that's it. And generally I'd say she always had like, okay, here's another option that I've got just a little bit different variation, or maybe the chairs, we'd move chairs around and look at it. But you're able to see it, and it's just so much easier to decide if it's the right thing than a piece here and a piece here from different stores.
And it's the entire room, down to the vases, the prints for the wall, the pillows, the rug, the throws. You're not going store to store to store to try to find the right pillows for that couch. Yeah. And that's what I appreciated. We would go in and the only thing missing was the actual room that we were going to put it in. Everything else would be, it was exactly down to the vases, and she always would bring extra accessories in case she got here and maybe that wouldn't be the vase that she would have put there. Yeah. So I always appreciated that too, for her to bring the other extra options.
I always say, and I think until you experience it, I always say time, value, and money are so closely tied together. Mm-hmm. The amount of time sometimes we spend searching for the perfect thing. I mean, it takes the whole fun out of the process. Mm-hmm. and so that's kind of what you're speaking to, which is getting it all done at once so you don't have to run to 8 million stores to try to find something that works.